All right, all right, all right. Let's get things started. There's a stream. There's some folks here who want to see and talk about the things. So let's get it started. There we are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today, what day is today? March 31st, 2025. We're going to write a little bit of code today. I don't have the bot running. I see some folks trying to tinker there. I don't have that bot running. Let me say hello. We're just getting started. It's a Monday morning. It's not time I typically stream here, so we'll see some folks wander in. I started even a little bit early today. So good to see you. Look at the couple folks here. CTI Geek, Daz Knowles, Wise Otter, DGen1. Welcome in. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. So, it's been a week since we've been together here. What trouble did you get into? Because, oh boy, did I get into trouble last week. Like, I was out at Microsoft campus. I was in Redmond. I was there for the MVP summit. I can't talk about the content that was shared there, new features and whatnot that was happening. You'll learn about that over the next 2 months leading up to Microsoft Build. We had a .NET Aspire community stand-up, showed and talked about all the cool things that are happening in .NET Aspire. We talked a little bit about health checks in .NET Aspire, showed how some of those work. Really great stuff. And we're getting ready for .NET Aspire 9.2. Very, very cool features that are coming in there. Lots of stuff to help you on the dashboard. Some fixes, some updates. Lots happening there. You can find it all in the source code repository as we're getting ready for that release. Take a look. We got a new hat. It's a new hat. Take a look. So I did get 2 new hats last week. The other hat is it's still downstairs. I left it by the packaging. That might have been a mistake, but there you go. There's there's a shop for aviation enthusiasts at the Seattle airport, and I saw a Top Gun hat and I couldn't let it go. It needed a home. It needed a home. So pick that one up. There you go. Navy blue baseball style hat, prominently featuring the bold yellow text Top Gun on the front. The design is simple yet iconic, referencing the popular aviation themed movie franchise. Well, not just that, but also Myanmar, the naval air facility where the U.S. Navy's pilots train. So, codename Top Gun, nicknamed Top Gun. Yep, the other new hat is a reference to Tron, and I shared that one on the Twitter. I shared it on the Blue Sky. I think I also shared it on the Instagram. Smirking Squiggly with a resub.
Smirking_Squiggly just resubscribed. For 24 months, with if and with else, you conquer the night. With try and with catch, oh, you code with delight. For C# is your beacon, your passion, your fire. You build, you create, you code to inspire.
Thank you. That was very cool. Little poem. Thank you, Smirking Squiggly. Really appreciate that. Check it out right there. Not right there. It's somewhere down here a little bit. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the resub. Let me get some music playing in the background here. I'm going to go with the EDM playlist today. I'm going to scroll down somewhere and start. Let's start here. Binary Bliss. This is music that's DMCA free. Royalty free, so you can listen to it wherever you'd like. YouTube, Twitch, doesn't matter. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. Hey, Mitch Denny is here. Hello. DGen1 with the question, which is better, the original Top Gun or the Top Gun with Maverick? Ooh. There's something to be said about there's something to be said about the original, right? And the new one, Top Gun Maverick, they had to break down some things, and there was a little bit of cheese in there. Of course, the first movie was very cheesy as well. I do like the first one better. I think Val Kilmer with his failing health, it would have been amazing if he was healthy to appear in the second one. It didn't have that type of. What you liked about the first one was the rivalry, the rivalry between Maverick and Iceman. Iceman. You like the rivalry between the two of them, and you wanted to root for one or the other. And you didn't really have that rivalry in the second movie. It was just kind of, hey, let's go get the bad guys. Like, so I like the rivalry bits. That's something that I do enjoy. How you doing there, Reg9K? Gosh, Mitch, it's great to see you here. I will be doing some Aspire work in a little bit, so stay tuned. Eric's here on YouTube and says, I'm putting a lunch and learn presentation together on generative AI. I have to say, PowerPoint Visual Designer is helping things look polished. Yeah, the generative AI features that are in PowerPoint that help with visual design. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. The original is beach volleyball. I forget there is they're not playing volleyball. They're playing football or something in the second one. Like, all right, whatever. Hey, McNet's good to see you. C# Titan with a question here. What are my thoughts on the MCP videos surfacing on the online browsing platform? Of course, the online browsing platform is what the IEEE calls the World Wide Web. I don't know why. It's only been around for 30 plus years, but the IEEE calls it the online browsing platform. If you go to read any of their standards, they say, oh, it's posted over here on the online browsing platform. I think what's interesting about the MCP, the Model Context Protocol, is they're making it easier for folks to swap out and move between models, to move between providers. This is something that our teams delivered with Microsoft Extensions AI. And quite frankly, this is a good thing to be able to have that type of abstraction, right? We, as .NET developers, we've seen layers of abstraction help you write more flexible code, swap in, update things, helps your code be more maintainable. So to be able to do that type of upgrade and swap without having to completely rewrite your application is a very good thing that I think we can all agree with. Being able to write simpler code and have that layer of abstraction is amazing. So I'm not disappointed at all. I'm eager to see how that grows, and I'm very happy to see that there's plugins available for our favorite programming languages, C# and whatnot, out there. So great. When am I planning to continue work on SharpSite? We might touch a little bit on that today. We're definitely going to be head first into SharpSite tomorrow. So, yeah. Love the Aspire presentation with Maddie. Oh, C# Titan. You have no idea the chaos that Maddie and I get into when we're left to present together. Like, Damien was there last week to kind of keep us on track and make sure that we didn't wander too far off into the weeds. But Maddie and I, there's havoc that can and does happen there. Yeah, that's about where I'm going to leave that. There is plenty of havoc that happens there. The online browsing platform provides a nice running gag here. Oh, it totally does. The online browsing platform, that's right. Go ahead, take another shot at the hat. Go ahead, take a look. Of course, you remember that's an AI that's taking a look at a picture of this part of the video, and it's going to tell you exactly what it sees. That's using Azure OpenAI to do a little image analysis right there. Chaos, much chaos, Mitch. Much chaos. So there it is, the Top Gun Navy cap. Good afternoon, Codebase Alpha from Birmingham, UK. Hello. Good to see you. So, The side that I'm supporting in League One, EFL League One, those Wrexham AFC folks. Oh no!
Farrowings just resubscribed for 78 months.
Let's see what it does.
I
do this on her channel too.
Fair Cappy.
Stop it. Stop it. I need a stop it button.
P Fair Hucks.
Thank you. That's our friend Fairy Wings. Thank you so much for the support there. 78 months. Oh, my friend. I really appreciate it. I was going to say that Wrexham won over the weekend. They have a 3-point lead above the bar for the automatic promotion, but they're 1 game ahead. They've played one more game than, I forget who it is. They're Wycombe, I think it is. So it is going to be a very exciting April here, watching EFL League One to see if Wrexham makes the automatic promotion. Even if they fall into the tournament, into the knockout, I think they've got a great shot of advancing here. If Wrexham makes the championship next season, it's going to be insane to see how much they turn over on that team. They already had some of the highest income in EFL. They had the highest income in EFL League One last year when they were in League Two. They were down a division and they had the highest income of the division above them. So this should be pretty exciting coming up. Eric on YouTube says MCP is just a way to get tools into LLMs. The cons are if you give an LLM to choose from, that can confuse the model. Well, yes. Codebase Alpha enjoyed the stint on the Aspire Community Stand-Up. I'm going to be the co-host going forward. So for the immediate future, I'm going to be co-hosting there. We're trying to set up the April date so that we can coordinate that with the release of .NET Aspire 9.2. Why are you making noise over there? Outlook. Apricot is here from Ukraine. Hello. There's Fairy Wings. Good to see you. Vision capabilities in VS Code are friggin' awesome, says C# Titan. Love how you can provide it with a mock-up and tell it to create a Blazor page. There's some very interesting things there, to be sure. Oh, yes. You just finished building an MCP demo using .NET Aspire. Very interesting. Nice. Any news on the visor glasses? No. They have gone quiet. The latest words from Immersed are that they're going to be delivered in second quarter. That starts tomorrow. So I'm highly disappointed that this is the third delay that we've seen from them. But I'm excited for what that product is going to be, but it's going to take a little bit here.
Oh my.
I know. You think I would feel comfortable working on the Aspire team? I do. So, you love that? Thank you, Tasha. Yeah, tomorrow's April Fool's Day. Tomorrow we'll be back here. Do I do anything stupid for April Fool's Day on the stream? We've always got room to do something stupid on stream. There's always plenty of room for stupidity here on stream. So, hey, John, how you doing there? Happy Monday to you. Chilling with coffee and C#? Absolutely. The oh my was very loud. I do have that turned up just a smidge. So, a couple things that happened last week while I was at MVP Summit. Great to see some of you folks there. My gosh, I was a little surprised how many folks wanted selfies and complimented me on the stream and whatnot. So thank you everyone for your support. That's always fantastic. I got a lot of questions about some of the projects we've worked on stream between Charlie and Sharpsight, and TagZap was the big one that I was not expecting. Dexteroo7, thank you so much for the follow. Some really good discussion around TagZap last week. Like, unexpectedly good discussion around it. So much so that on my flight home, I wrote down a ton of ideas, put together a bunch of bug fixes. I merged a couple things yesterday into that project. It was refreshing to dive back into that, something that I hadn't touched in almost 6 months, and put in a bunch of updates. I think there's still a bunch to be done there to tweak and tune and repair and make it easier for folks to use. But I think there's a lot we may end up doing with TagZap here over the next few months. So we'll probably be doing a bit of bouncing back and forth between TagZap and Sharpsight. TagZap is pretty mature, but at the same time has some rough edges. Like, we moved it into .NET Aspire. I upgraded TagZap to .NET 9 to Aspire 9.1. Central package management works really, really nice, but I think there's some patches and updates that we need to do there, and decisions to be made on some architecture things. Like, I had started building it so that it'll work with SQLite locally, and I'm like, is that really something that I want to continue maintaining? Like, maybe SQLite is a thing if you want to run it locally as a package, but I think I'm going to park some of that. All right, take another look at the hat. Go for it. I think there may also be some other opportunities coming with TagZap that we'll see in the weeks and months ahead. So there was a lot of interest in folks doing more with TagZap. So between doing further customizations, additional features, I think there's a lot we're going to end up doing on stream, and I think there's a lot we're going to be doing off stream as well. So good morning, Napalm. Good to see you. Dexteroo, hello to you. There you go. There's the hat. The AI detected. You got some patch and switch, folks. Hooked into DeskPi RackMate and mini racks. Oh, neat. This coming weekend is the first weekend I'm going to be taking out my RV. So I bought a trailer, tow behind RV back in December. We're into the spring here in the States. We're going to take it out for its maiden voyage this coming weekend. So I have a Raspberry Pi, the old Raspberry Pi 3 that I tinkered with. I did that oil tank demo where I mounted a camera on the Raspberry Pi and it would take pictures of the gauge on my oil tank. Don't need that here during the spring, so I'm going to take that and put Plex on it, wire it up to an external USB hard drive, and load up a bunch of movies, mount that in the RV as the video source for the television in the RV, and we'll be able to watch whatever movies we have saved off over there without having to use any streaming. So that'll be my Raspberry Pi tinkering this week. Getting ready for that. Napalm would like another shot at using Aspire Build and Grafana leaderboard stuff, since the other OTel stuff comes out of the box now. Totally. Yeah, I agree, Napalm. So for those that don't know, Napalm spent a ton of time putting together open telemetry features for TagZap, the user interface that we use for .NET Conf, to show all the questions that we get across Twitter and Mastodon and Blue Sky and Twitch chat and YouTube chat. And we put open telemetry in there, and Napalm did a great job using the out-of-the-box tools to do it. But then .NET Aspire came along, and well, now it's just there. It's just available. So I think there's a great learning experience and a great series of documentation that we can put together in blog posts to show how OpenTelemetry works in TagsApp using .NET Aspire, how it appears on the .NET Aspire dashboard, and how you can swap out the publisher so it doesn't just go to the .NET Aspire dashboard, but we can also push it into Prometheus and Expose with a Grafana dashboard. You're completely right, Napalm. That would be a lot of fun, and because it's showing data about social media, I think there's some very interesting things that folks will see there. How's Charlie progressing, asks C# Titan. Charlie now knows how to talk to Discord. Charlie knows how to talk to Discord. For those of you who don't know, Charlie is the next generation chatbot that I've been writing. I've done a little bit of work here on stream, a little bit of work off stream, and I have Charlie working with Discord. The first feature that I'm building that's going to work with Discord is, and Charlie is not running now, so don't try it right now, is Charlie's going to detect when clips are created on the channel and publish those clips automatically into Discord and put a message on screen. That's the first thing Charlie's going to do with Discord. There's lots more that Charlie's going to do with Discord because Charlie knows how to listen to YouTube, Twitch, and now Discord. So there's integrations that are going to be happening there. I don't want to give too much away because I want to surprise and show folks. You've already seen the map integration that we have for Charlie. Lots planned and on the way there. So, and of course, right now Charlie runs with .NET Aspire. It makes it real easy with health checks and the tracing to be able to see all the things that it's connecting to because it has all those background services that are running. So, and something that I said during the .NET Aspire stand-up last week, as I was working with building, here's Charlie's an ASP.NET web application, ASP.NET Core, and it has background hosted services that listen to these different interactions. I believe that when you build a hosted service inside of ASP.NET Core, at a minimum, you need to wire up health checks to that hosted service so that you know what's going on with it. Like, you need to know what's going on with that. Whether that health check is completely reported up the stack to the as health of the entire application, or if it's reported all the way up the stack and it's allowed to degrade or go offline, that's up to you. But I think there's definitely something there that we can learn and grow from. Eric on YouTube asks, anything good coming in Build 2025? No. Builds. No, it's a terrible event. I can't tell you anything about Build, even if I wanted to. I can't tell you anything about Build. I have a couple emails that I received this morning over the weekend asking me to refine some of the submissions that I send over. We'll see if Fritz is speaking there. It might happen. It might happen. So, but I can't tell you. Can't tell you much else. So, very hard question incoming from Atrum. How come we can't do and my class to get a pointer of the object? But if we modify the IL and the DLL, we can actually do this. You want a pointer to an object. Pointer's a reference. In C#, when you declare a class, you have a reference type. So while it's not a pointer, it's a reference type that's sitting out there on the heap. So while it's not explicitly a pointer, that's effectively the same thing in C#. So, when is .NET Aspire 9.2? Tomorrow? No. Aspire 9.2 is not tomorrow. You can see the timeline. You can see the schedule over in the GitHub repository. I'm not going to bring that up and show it on stream. If you want to see it, you can go take a look at it. So things are in flux. There's folks that are there's folks that are out of office this week. That's a little bit of it. And that puts us, I believe, next week puts us on the release schedule with Patch Tuesday. So there's some things that happen there as well. So .NET Aspire is about a week or so away, is what we're looking at. C# Titan says, how do I handle in my job when my ideas, comments, concerns are ignored? You've been in a situation when I find a major issue with the code that could fault and any time explain concerns, but it was dismissed. Document. File an issue. Get it written down somewhere so that it's out of your head and more people can see it. Don't just send an email. File an issue. Get it written down somewhere. Get it into a Teams chat, a Slack chat. Get it into your issue logging system so that more people see it. So that even if it's ignored coming from you, somebody at some point can bring it back up and go, there's a thing here. So, when will Charlie integrate with Google+? Oh, man. No. So, not tomorrow. Is that an April Fool's joke? No, not an April Fool's joke at all. No. Mython is currently experimenting with a custom domain to my container app. Is it possible that Publish's Azure Container App extension method is not yet released? It is not yet released. That's right. Yeah, that's a vNext thing. So that we talked about. We didn't talk about. That's something that's in the source code that they're talking about for vNext. That's not available yet. Frank is here. Bonjour. How you doing there? Hello. You're still using SOAP services and it has issues? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with using SOAP. SOAP is a protocol that many folks have been trying to emulate to do different things, and folks don't like XML being sent online. I hate to tell you it. You see this stuff around the video down here and all that? Yeah, that's HTML. That's a similar language to XML, and in some cases with XHTML is the same as XML, an extension of XML, and it drives the entire internet. So, like, you are never getting away from XML, so why not make it better? Why not improve it? Silly people. You thought you could easily just use a custom domain for your Aspire app? You can. Mython, you can. That's what Aspirify.net is. Like, folks on the Aspire team, like Mitch that you saw here earlier, David Fowler and Maddie and Brady, even Damien, have access to the Aspirify.net source code. And clearly that has a custom domain name. So a bunch of what I've done in Aspirify and some of the struggles and loopholes that I've had to go and figure out and work around have been inspiration for some of the features the team has built. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. I'm happy that folks are able to take my experiences and feedback, learn from them, and make it something easier for everybody to use. That's awesome stuff. So yeah, Mython, you can absolutely get that set up. Extreme machine learning, yeah, XML. No. If you're using SOAP, Use core WCF, and then just by adding attributes to interfaces and defining a /API endpoint, you get REST for free. Yeah. On YouTube, Eric says sometimes defects are allowed due to a managed risk approach. Yeah. If it's serious, you have to build the case of its impact, but at the end of the day, it might be someone else's call. Nothing wrong with that. You wanted to be able to set an integer value on an unknown data type at a specific location in memory. Without expression, reflection, and unsafe. Surprisingly hard, but accessing the pointer of an object. So, if you're looking to set an integer value at a specific location in memory without expression, reflection, and unsafe, C# might not be the language for you. C# is a managed language. It runs on a managed runtime. You can get to those unmanaged resources, but if you're going to close the doors to the to the unmanaged keywords, then I mean, you can get the int ptr to get a direct access to an object, right? Memory of T, span of T will help you get to the memory of that object, but you're closing the doors on a lot of things that are the escape hatch that you can use from the managed code to reach into unmanaged capabilities. And yes, it is surprisingly hard because it's a managed language. Like that's kind of the point. So you're just hoping you can do it in C#. So setting a domain name is there in C#. Yeah, you can set up the domain name in, right? You can set up the domain name in your app host. Come on, where is it? .NET Aspire domain name. Custom domain support. Yep. And actually, Mitch is the one who has the feature to show that off. And it looks like that article isn't released yet. Custom .NET Aspire hosting. That's hosting integrations. I forget the way. There is a way to do the custom domain name. Nope, can't say it. Yeah, there is a way to do it, and I don't have source code handy there. Goku Jack says, I have SQL Server database with data. How do you convert it to Postgres? There's data migration tools. Azure Data Studio. There is an Azure tool to do that migration, but that is not trivial because you're also going to have to update all of your source code, so it's using the other provider as well. Migrating is the least of your problems. Rewriting all of your code is where you're going to struggle. But you need to migrate data and then upgrade all of your code so that it references the new libraries. You asked Copilot how to do it? No. You're amazed that the compiler doesn't let me get the pointer of a managed class. If you make a DLL and modify the IL code, you can get the pointer with intptr. But once you have it, it's an integer that's coming back. But you're down in unsafe code at that point. Yeah. But you're going to be doing like a DLL import or something like that to... But you were already saying you don't want to do any of the unsafe coding keywords, so... Yep, you need to export your SQL Server database. There are... So Better Call Sean, there are some tools, ETL tools, that will help you to export from one and load into the other. But you don't just need to export and load data. You're going to also need to create the schemas appropriate for that other, for your destination. Keep them in sync. But in my mind, the folks who work in operations, there are tools to do those exports and migrations. The software that you're using to work with SQL Server right now, you're going to need to rewrite and migrate. That's where your problem is going to be. Hello, is it Mwem? Hello? Good to see you. Build a Java applet to rewrite your C# code. Stop it. You use database first, even using database first. You're going to need to regenerate. So when you say you're using database first, that tells me you're using entity framework. You're still going to need to regenerate and test to make sure that all of your code works. Like, that's going to be a thing. Yeah, just rewrite it all in Rust, says Better Call Sean. Do I work with Scott Hanselman on his projects and/or training? Never heard of him. Who? Yes, I do work with him on some of his projects. Yeah, him, that guy. I do help him with some of the material that he writes. It's not something that that I do regularly. But yes. There you go. You could use the unsafe keyword, just not the unsafe class. No, use the unsafe keyword to get into some of those other things, but you're building serialization tech. Faster ways than reflection to read-write the data. Okay. Take a look at memory of T and span of T then. Because those let you read and write data directly from memory without allocating on the heap. Right? And that's what we do in system text JSON. And that source code is available. So let's see. Let's go look up memory of T. Yeah. Right? This is a struct. So it sits on the stack, right? That will allow you to refer to a contiguous region of memory. So it's not a ref struct when you work with memory of T. So it's placed on the managed heap, where span of T is not. Span of T will go on the stack, but you can still work with and manipulate that and without touching memory directly. So that's where I would suggest you go. If you're looking at doing serialization, these are very powerful because you can use all of your regular typical managed resources for interacting with the various .NET objects to get in and manipulate this. And that's where, so if we go to the .NET source code, and if we look for JSON serializer, wow, Yeah, search in this organization. There. Right there. Right? You can take a look and see how right, it's using iAsync enumerable. Where is it? See, it's working with buffers directly, a read-only sequence of bytes. And you can dig into this as much as you'd like, but this is very much doing something similar to what you're describing, serializing and working directly with the memory. And you can dig into each one of these things. I'll share a link. Let's actually go to the master branch, if you don't mind. I'll share that link if you'd like to dig in further about how the JSON serializer works that ships with system text JSON. So, memory of T and span of T are things that, for the typical rank and file .NET developer that's building a website, building a desktop application, building a mobile application, you don't need to. You should know that they exist, but you're not typically at that low a level that you should be in and tinkering and working with these things to try and optimize performance, because there's other places that you can optimize performance before you get into trying to squeeze milliseconds and memory utilization with something like this. Typically, right? 98% of .NET developers don't need to be at this low level. However, if you are building a serializer, then this is the kind of thing that you want to do. You're trying to beat the JSON serializer in performance. Okay. You've rewritten all the string parsers to be about 30 to 40% faster. Very interesting. Okay. With your own tokenizers. Impressive. Okay. And what Atrum is describing here, let me go back to the chat here, is exactly when you want to be able to use some of those lower level constructs to go and interact. And squeezing 30-40% faster performance out of JSON serialization when you're building one of these lower level constructs is something that makes so much of the rest of the framework faster, better, right? Because most developers live on top of these abstractions, when you can make one of those lower level things significantly faster, literally it makes everything faster. So, very, very cool. One day when you're smarter, you want to contribute to EF Core again? You love how much C# has been focusing on memory management and non-allocation stuff. Totally agree. And it's improved your tech stack a lot. Yes. So also consider, right? .NET is being used in a lot of games. Not just in the games, but it's being used as tools to build games. Our friend Fierce Kittens, she's been vocal about this, so I don't think I'm speaking out of line here. She wrote some of the tools that were used to build Metroid, the Metroid Prime 4 Unleashed. So those tools were built with .NET 5, .NET 6. The memory optimizations that happened in there allowed them to take their build times for building that game from hours down to minutes, allowed them to have a distributed build system, to do light renderings, to do all kinds of really complex math and interactions there, and run it significantly quicker and build those tools significantly quicker because they were building it in .NET. You're curious what Async 2 will bring? You are several steps down the path there. There's experiments that have happened with improving the async keywords, and they didn't yield significant returns yet. There's more experimenting. They're always experimenting, right? This is why you have project teams that are building, enhancing, and growing programming languages. We'll see. We'll see. There's also the other side of the programming language world where, you know what? We're talking to copilots. We're talking to LLMs that are generating code for us. Do we end up in a world where we're not directly programming in C#, but we're letting the LLM, we're letting the copilot generate most of that code for us? And we end up living in a world of abstractions where we learn the best ways to dictate and prompt those AI code generators, and they generate good enough code. At which point, developers can step in and tweak and tune and enhance what was generated because it's good enough to get us 80% there. But I want to make sure that I'm crystal clear on this. The code that's generated by LLMs, by Copilot, you need to be aware of. You need to double check, because 9 times out of 10, they don't include some of the best practices for security, memory management, processor utilization. And because they're built off of code and text that's out there that were written in samples that weren't optimized for all of those things. So make sure you know what you're stepping into, and make sure you know what you don't know that it's going to generate. Oh, Lou. The research in R&D. Yep. The app has a bug. Just recompile it a few times. This isn't Windows and just Control-Alt-Delete run things. That's not what we do. I don't think is there anything to show you with what I did to TagZap over the weekend? I don't think so. No. I did take a bunch of code that was being referenced and pushed into the WebAssembly stuff, and I refactored that so that I simplified it a little bit, and I introduced another client library there to be shared that would contain things like view models that go back and forth. I removed the workload capabilities and upgraded to .NET 9. And I set up I merged in the YouTube chat features for TagZap, so that all works better. I've received a couple requests from the .NET Aspire team to do some other things with Aspirify.net. I'm going to prioritize and get into those later. They're not something that I need to do right now. That I don't need to do right now on stream. I'd like to dig in. Hey, Chris Funk, hello. Can I suppose I can test a little bit of Charlie. What branches do I have here? Oh. I need to talk to some folks before I show that. I found a free and open source geolocation service. Let me show that. And I've been trying to wire this up as a tool with Microsoft Extensions AI, and I can't get it to work at all. and it's open source geolocation API. This one, Nominatum. This seems really, really good. So the usage policy, though, says maximum of 1 request per second. I think we can throttle the bot so it only sends through 1 in a second. That's not too bad. But this API is actually, it's actually pretty good. So if I say Q equals and we give it a location, right? Just Lisbon, right? Like, there it is. And it gives me a boundary zone, not just a point, but a boundary location around it. Right? Like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And it came back reasonably quick. And you can also flip it so that it returns JSON instead of taking you to the user interface. That's pretty good. Right? What is it? It's like format equals JSON. Yeah. Right. So if I say format equals JSON and Q equals Denver. Right? So I get JSON format coming back, and it's a pretty good there's a bounding box of the coordinates there. That's fine. But Denver, Colorado, Denver, Bremer County, Iowa, Denver, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. That's it. So you can also specify a limit on these, but it's ordered by this importance. How important is that location? So that's pretty good. And I've been looking at integrating this and using this as a tool from Charlie. And it does not look like it's working for me at all, and I don't know why. So there's an official Bing Maps MCP server, so you could wire up MCP client to Charlie and give it the power of Bing Maps. Really? Bing Maps MCP? Bing Maps Scraper? That doesn't sound good. And it's 0.0.
Mr. Blutarski. 0.0.
No! No! Bing Search MCP server.
Mr. Blutarski. 0.0.
No. This is literally somebody who's scraping, and yeah, they're charging $15 to use your API token. Not that one. Do you have a link? That's the same guy. It's the same guy. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. How you doing there? Code with Sean. Good to see you. Spent some time with Sean last week. In Web API using Entity Framework Core, when is it recommended to return iAsync enumerable instead of list async? When is it recommended? If you have a large collection that you want to be able to return in a streaming fashion is what I would suggest. That's where I would lean into. So, yeah, I haven't seen an official one. So, conference was jam-packed. Yeah, and can't talk about it. So, so I'm trying to work with this and bring this in. The throttling at 1 request per second feels very doable. I asked Copilot to generate some code to throttle to 1 request per second. Yeah, it doesn't know how to do that. It put a timer in and sent 1 request per second. No. That's not how that works. It literally had a loop, and once a second, it would go and check to see if there was content. No. I want you to handle requests as they come in, and if there is a request, after the request is completed, wait a second is fine. And then go check to see if there's more content. And sit in a holding pattern until there's more content. Once there is more content, do it. But, yeah. Chris Funk with a quick question. Have a coworker who built a Blazor server app using the old template. Is there benefit of migrating it to Blazor app? Performance. Performance is the first thing you're going to see. There's an updated, well, hang on. You don't need to migrate to Blazor app, but just updating to .NET 8, .NET 9, you're going to see a performance improvement. You don't need to change the model, but you can just do the update to the latest version, and you'll see the performance improve significantly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big is my head? You're asking because you want some Gunner glasses, but I have a large head. Dusty, I appreciate that. I do have a larger melon on these shoulders here, let me tell you. I mean, I'm probably in the 8 range. I like when I wear a hat, it's usually at very near the last bit of snaps or the tether that goes through there. If you have oh gosh, Dusty, the folks at Gunner have asked me to do some streams on their channels, so they've announced Gunner Live, a series of sessions that they're going to be doing on talking tech, playing games, all kinds of things over on their channels. They've asked me to participate in that. I think, yeah, I don't have a glasses command. I think you'll find that they fit pretty good. I think you'll try reaching out to their folks, and if you have some measurements, they can definitely give you feedback. Drop me a line. I'm happy to make an introduction to some of their customer service folks to get you a little bit of feedback. That is a very valid question, and something that can provide them with a little feedback to help other folks. Folks have all different size heads, no doubt, right? They sent me a child-size pair of glasses for the St. Jude sponsored glasses, and they don't fit my head. They hurt when I tried to put them on because they're so, and the arms ended up out like this. So I would tell you, if it's something you're interested in checking out, drop me a line and on Discord, and I can get you connected and get you information. If distance between your eyes is a thing, they can help with that also. Yeah, you're right, Kobashan. It's a big consideration if you're wearing them and a headset all day. So they made a pair, and I have several of them, but I've given them away. They called them the Lightning. Yeah. No. Yeah, here we go. Well, these are the temple packs that go with them. But they came with different arms and they came with a strap. So that you can alleviate it pressing on the side of your head, and you could use a strap instead of arms for the glasses, different lengths, different sizes, different compression to go around your head. So they do have replacement arms for some of the glasses. I don't know off the top of my head. But I've requested some of the Fallout ones. I have these. I've got a bunch of these. I don't have the Assassin's Creed ones. Cupertino, I have those. You've seen me show those on stream. I have a pair of Vertex. They're all right. These are a little bit too small for my comfort. The Marins, love the Marins. There's the Vertex for St. Jude. Where's the Tony Stark ones? Torpedo. Those are the ones I'm wearing right now. Clicks, these ones have been selling phenomenally. Yeah, there's I don't see the Marvel ones here. Oh no, there they are. The Diablo ones. Where are the Tony Stark ones? No, it's Friday. No, Friday. No, I guess they don't. Ooh. They do discontinue glasses, so I don't see them. Yeah, it's not on here. So they're kind of like the Fallout ones, but there you go. All right, moving on. I could show you what I did here with Charlie. See, I was working on TextZap. I need to jump to Dev Drive. Yeah, here I was. This is where I was working on Discord. There we go. Microsoft Bing Search MCP. Yeah, I saw that. Let's grab that. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And stuff like this, right? These are ways to plug in and integrate other services. I get it. We'll see how well it sticks around. So stuff changes, grows, we adapt. I started, this monitor clip creation, so that it will go and check to see if there are clips. And where I'm about to jump off here is, okay, you got clips down in here, raise an event, we need to notify that what the clips are that you found. And I made this a partial so that I could jump back over and have that code that's specific for clip creation and clip monitoring somewhere else. Yeah. Right. Is this a fad that folks are going to ramp up on? Go, ooh, look at how great it is. And then everybody's going to go, why am I wasting my time with this? So, but this does connect to Discord now. And then we'll do more. There we go. Ba-ba-ba. Starting. Yeah, configuration missing. Yeah, I know. Because I wrote it on another machine. Oh yeah, that's gonna fail because that token's not there. Yeah, that's right. I want to go. Disable that for right now. New feature, let's break it. No. Yeah, I know. So, yep. That's where I had started. So, let's just take it out of the mix for right now. Where'd it go? Right? Nah. There it is. Oh, jeez. Fine. This is what I get trying to peel back something. Probably still going to fail because there's places where... Yeah, null. See, now how much do I peel back? I could just cancel that. Yeah, now I need to put it back in. Yoda. Come on now. And let it show up as broken. Mhm. Actually, I can just return there, right, and just be done with it for right now, just to get it running. You spend most of your time in front of a computer. Are Gunnar glasses suitable? Yes. Yes. Like 15 years ago, I got my first pair of Gunnars. Yes. It's funny. I mentioned that to the CEO of Gunnar when I was on a phone call with him 2 weeks ago, and he was blown away. He's like, "Holy crow, you bought one of those?" Yes, and I fell in love. There you go. It's unhealthy because it's not running, but the health checks UI will show it's not running. Right? That's great stuff. And remember, we talked a lot about the glasses. I've got coupon codes listed below if you want to get 15% off on a pair of Gunnars. Yes, if the computer's not on, you don't need them. Even if you don't need Gunnars for looking at the computer, you can get them as sunglasses. You can get the same style for sunglasses. You can even get them as transitions. These are transitions that turn from the amber for looking at blue light, for looking at computer screens, they turn into sunglasses. Too cool. Those are all available. They do all kinds of great things with it. There's a number of scientists, eye doctors and folks that work with Gunnar that do some really, really cool stuff, that are studying and making sure that we can keep our eyes healthy. Greenish Pepper asks, how did I get sponsored by Gunnar? I know a guy. No. When I went to TwitchCon back in 2018, they had a table, and I stepped up, introduced myself, talked about how much I enjoyed the glasses, and they were interested in doing more. Talking, I mean, I had a decent following. Hey, what can we do to do a little bit more here? And I was a streamer with a decent following, and we grew that over the following year. I became partner, and hey, let's do some more. And yeah, I get them a lot of interactions between folks watching here on stream, folks who see me wearing Gunnar glasses at events, on the Microsoft channels. So they're always interested. Does the color matter? So these are the Amber 65s. The darker ones, the Amber, I think they're 90, something like that, is more appropriate for at nighttime. The Amber 35s are not. For me, they're not worth it. So it depends on how much you want to have the blue light adjusted for you. So, but the glasses that you see me typically wearing on stream are the 65s, right? These are Amber 65s. These are, go to the bigger screen. These are the Overwatch Reaper glasses, and these are, right, you could see them reflecting the blue light already, right? These are your typical Amber 65s. I also have Reaper sunglasses. So the exact same glasses, but they put the sunglasses in them. See, I haven't even taken the plastic off of these yet. But these, I think these are very cool looking. Because I like Overwatch. But you can get the exact same glasses, but now with your typical sunglass inserts. Phenomenal. Like, if you just like the frames, but you don't want to wear them for computer use, fine. You can get them as sunglasses and wear them outside. Really cool stuff. It's more than just computer glasses. They're fashion, and like they're the fashions that us as tech folks, as sci-fi fans, that we enjoy. Yes, please. I'll take some of them. How's SharpSight coming along? We're going to be diving back into SharpSight tomorrow. I'm only going to be on for maybe another half hour today. But I wanted to jump in and show... Hey, look, see? Some of the questions popping up right there. And the map... The map is... I forget, is this working? That one worked. But I have updates that are trying to use more. Here we go. More of the lookups using that API service we were just. There you go. Montreal. Maybe North Pole. No. It didn't pick up is it Freising? Didn't pick that up. But there you go. Oh. And yes, look what Marcus did to us. Put you in Miami. So, plotted Manchester, there you go. Nebraska, sure. It's getting better. There's more to be done there. So, and I need to put the remove button over here as well. But that's fine. Did it? Yeah, there you go. It picked up Freising that time. Who did it put down here? Try that again. That's funny. And why didn't it? This map. Yeah. I may end up replacing the map with the map from our friends at Progress, because they have a really good one that I can drop in. So, Crete. There you go. When will the app take request for location to teleport us? I wish. Oh. There you go. Wales. Sure. So. Now. Hang on. There you go. What about a globe instead of a map? I've heard that as well. And then have the globe spin. Whatever. That's fine too. No, it's not your hat color. I specifically don't detect the hat color. And I just plot subscriber or just a viewer, and folks on YouTube get a different hat color. Folks on Twitch get either purple or the rainbow hat color with the propeller. I get me. So Winnipeg is one that I know we were struggling with. There you go. And it's also caching these locations. Oh my goodness, ending with Ali. Hello. Welcome in. Oh, watch, now we're really gonna hammer this. Welcome in, friends. Hello, hello. We just got a raid. How you doing there, raiders? Good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz. And we are tinkering with a little bit of, well, we were, and chat was tinkering with a map that we have that listens to chat and plots. That was Steve Ballmer. You are correct. Steve's been greeting folks here in this channel for a while. But we're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube, talking tech, writing some code. There's an AI that's listening on both Twitch and YouTube, and when you write a message in there that announces where you're watching from, it will plot an icon on my map here that you see on screen. So, that wasn't the part that I wanted to zoom in. So if you're in chat and you mention, hey, here's where I am, like DGen1 just mentioned, hey, I'm in the North Pole. I don't think, yep, there, way up there. There's a red hat hiding way up there from YouTube. So it will plot a little location for you out there. So Ergen Rod, there you go. It plotted one in Florida for you. So Dallas, Fort Worth. All right. We get one in there. So, and right, I'm not putting names with any of these things. I'm only taking locations that folks mention in chat. That way we handle any privacy concerns easily, because there's no names or anything attached to these. It's just, hey, here's a location. So, and it only records one at a time here. Washington State, sure. There you go. There's one plotted out there. And the order that these are in here doesn't make too much sense to me, but it's something fun. Oh, sure, Surly. Sure, go ahead, try and stress test it. Didn't get it. We just have the one that is marked as Wales. Greetings from the South Pole, says Frackery. Did it pick up South Pole? No, I don't see it. Oh, maybe it did get it. Yeah, there it is. Sure. Come on, zoom back out, friend. So, where does it think Night City is? I think Sydney. So, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So, there's more to do here. I think our friends at Progress Software have a better map component that will allow me to do some more things here. Because what we're eventually going to do is we're going to program it to do a tour and have it zoom into various parts of the globe and show here's a cluster of pins. So there's Napalm, yes. Steel City, it plotted Pittsburgh and put a Stargate there. So that's in part because it's using an AI to do the plotting, right? North Pole, Colorado? Sure. That looks more like Denver to me, but okay. So, all right. Hey, thank you so much for the sub.
Subscribed for 29 months.
Is it Vlaquel? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that support. I did update. We don't have very many subscribers on the channel. I did update the goals on Twitch just below to show how many subscribers we need to get to the first what's it called? The first subscriber level, I forget, partner plus level. So you can see that just below if you want to see how far along we are at subscribing and supporting the channel. I thought I had, let me see if I can get that Discord bit wired up real quick to show you here on stream. I'm going to take this just off screen for a second. No. Let me do this. Zoom back in. Let me just take the whole thing off screen. I have... thought I saved my Discord token. I thought I saved that somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Grab that. We can drop that in and turn back on Discord. Where is it? Yeah. All right, there's my user secrets saved. Oops. And let's give this another shot. I should be able to turn back on Discord. Restart this and see what we get. Let's see here. It's easier to reach the same goal on Kick. No, it's not. Not as many people watch on Kick. Not as many people watch on Kick. Start there. Like, that's a thing. Now if we go to health checks. It's connected to Discord, YouTube. Once it identifies the YouTube chat that we're connected to, that'll update and flip over. So, there you go. Listening for messages on Back in the Studio Encoding. Like, not as many people watch on Kick. That's a thing. So, and if I go back here, we go back to my dashboard, you'll see I'm connected to Discord now. And it already picked up, because YouTube messages stick around, unlike Twitch messages. Ads are starting in 10 seconds. Over on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, no ads. So, there we go. So, well, here, if we want to hammer on this a little bit. So, it's going to go find clips, and it has to do this constant polling for clips. Gee, I might have written this before. You know I've written this before, chat room. So I have to get a user when this starts up, and I don't think, do I have this wired? Yeah. Okay, so I have a task that's going to sit out here as a background thread and run, and it's passed in a token while we're not shutting down. Every 30 seconds, it's going to check to see if there's new clips for the channel. So, Camardigan, hello. Welcome. So if it finds clips, right, this should be like last clip request time or something. Last clip, request time. Sure. So it's always searching for new clips. And they started at... Well, I didn't pass in. Last clip, request time. There we go. No, it's... that. All right. So I need to inspect, did we get any clips? If we did get clips, I want to send messages. I want to notify things. So let's first do a check. See if we can do a little bit of this with Copilot. I got into trouble last week. Oh, I got into trouble last week. With a little bit of Copilot discussion. So... Well, Night City isn't a real city. So, yeah, check if there are any clips in the response. And, sure. Let's do this. If... Right, actually... Okay. For each clip in clips data, if clip created at is greater than last clip request time... Yeah. Await share clip, so we need a method to do that. Here's the URL, the name of the creator, and the title of the clip. Yeah, okay. So, what do I want to do? What do I want to do with that? Let's generate a method, sure. Reach into Charlie service. And no. Post a message to Discord about the new clip. You suck. You stink. So my Discord service is already right here. It's already starting and running, stopping. Yes, check health. So I've got my health checks on here. This has a share clip. Let's also put the creator on there. Clip, creator, and we'll get the clips channel. Check out this clip. You know what? It's going to include it in there. I'm not going to include it. I don't know. Check out this clip created by clip creator. Yeah, let's just do that. All right, so back over here, what I should be able to do. No. I thought there was a way to get back to the Charlie service from here. 1 second. No. It's not here. So I could raise an event. Let's raise an event. I don't want to create an event, though. I'd rather create an action. No. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll create this, not create it here. Let's make this a record. Because it doesn't actually need that much stuff, right? I don't need all that other... I can do this positionally and be done with this. Yeah. I don't want to accept that, no. Right? So then I don't need this method if I'm going to be raising an event up here. One clip created. There we go. Done. So now I can set up the service to listen for that and send messages appropriately. So here I can say Twitch dot one clip created. It's just a message. There we go. And title. So and then we'll write a message to the UI. So-and-so shared a clip. What? Typo. And because I've done everything very event-driven like this, it's easy for me to extend and add features. That North Pole is going to sit there forever. That's fine. So if somebody creates a clip, it should pop up here and then appear in Discord after the clip is created. 30 seconds after the clip is created. So, you're from East Pole. The bot trolling is strong with this one. Okay, let's do this. Let's create a clip. Right. No. Where is it? I thought I had a clip button here in the quick actions. Yeah, there we go. You'd have a queue and manually authorize clips to be sent to Discord? Why? Um, there we go. Can I get the value of a token type null as a number? Really? And right now I have it searching from datetime min value. That's a mistake. Can we see that? VOD offset. All right. Where is that? Here. This should probably be like today. Let that fly. Spamming of clips? No, not happening. I'm building this for my channel. I'm not building this for somebody else's channel. And spamming of clips is not something I'm concerned about. I'm really not concerned about. So, yep, one entry. There it is. Let's open that. Yeah, I missed that. But if I go over to Discord, I've got an entry in the clips channel from Charlie. Cool. Right now it's going to check again. Now that's the same one. Yeah, and it skipped it. Okay. That is a question in the queue. That's right, Surly. Here. Put a comma there. Yes, it is. So. Okay. Let's try. Let me create another clip here. We should see a message pop up. And then it copy the entry into. Yep, and DGen1 created one. There you go. There you go. So that works. I still have to work on the formatting of this. But all right. I think I'm going to commit that. Oh, check this out. There we go. I've got it on one key. What did I change? I removed that. No, put that back in. That's fine. Cool. Right there. Is Charlie great service? Of course. Charlie's amazing service. Yep, Marcus put you right smack in the middle of Gulf of Mexico. Finished first connections to Discord. Fantastic. One more thing done. Merge that John in. Good. Delete the branch. So, I am just about out of time. Because there are other things that I'm going to get here today. Get to here today. 1,000 miles west of Manhattan. Yeah, I got to work with that guy. I think it just plotted Manhattan for you. Yeah, it just plotted Manhattan. It didn't go and think it through. So, you've been recently doing a personal project very similar to this, using WinUI 3. Oh, cool. Oh gosh, I'm flattered you like where I'm going with this. There's more to do. There's lots more to do. There's always more to do. But I'm definitely having fun with this. I like the idea of learning some other features. Like I'm putting the health check information right here. Could clean that up a little bit. There's more, always more to do, and there's more to learn along the way here. And what I've really liked, and actually I'm going to be recording today. What I've really liked is what the health checks brings here, because when you have background threads running, you don't know how they're running. How do I get any kind of status on it? So having those being reported here is pretty cool. Well, you can certainly take a look at the test map, and you're happy to send over locations for it. But yeah, see, there's a question from you right there. But having it track and report the clips over on the other channel, you know what? I should probably report clips down here as well. Let's add a section for that. Right, so if the service, where'd it go? Right there. Right, I could put that clip, and I had created that record. I don't need that record, do I? Where did I put it? Over here. Right. It's on the event coming out of here that the service is listening for, and it calls into this. Let's just refactor this. And we can change this to that. But then I can also stash that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there we go. But I can stash that. Why don't you? Turkey. I can stash that for later. And once again, I don't get that many clips. So I'm only thinking about the scope of my channel. Internal list. I won't have the create times. It's not terrible. Yep, clip created. I mean, it... Well, heck. Make that a field over there. Actually, I could do... Right? Public, date, time, offset. Created on... Now. Yeah, I know. Clips created. Right? Something like that. Who dat?
Chris Jones just
Chris Jones?
For 71 months.
Thank you so much. 71 months. Thank you so much, friend. How you doing there? Have a good one, Sean. I did see your message. I'll reply to you a little bit later. So now I can just add, right? That's a public. An internal list. That's fine. Where'd it go? Here. And clips created, add this one. Oh. There we go. So now I can go over to my dashboard and I can add a list of the clips. And actually, won't I have a thumbnail? No, there are thumbnails that come with those. Cooldowns down here. Let's see if it can help me out here. Get a little help from Copilot. The Copilot. Maybe you've heard of it. Create another card to list the clips created. From the Charlie service. I don't think Copilot's going to get it. No. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. Let's see. Let's make this one a little bigger. Let's make this 4 columns wide. Sure. And, yeah. Margin bottom 12. Sure, that's fine. No. No, 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 no. And clips. You're not even going to suggest to me to close the div. Really? That's the card. Better. All right. It should be like card head. Card title, something. Whatever. So now I can say, clips created, if that counts. There we go. Yep. And it didn't format. I even mentioned it even knows what it's looking at here. It knows that that's a list, but for some reason it's looking at it as a dictionary. Why it's interpreting it as a dictionary, I don't know. It clearly knows it's an enumerable, but did not. No. And I think I just want the titles. I think that's all I want. I might turn it into a link so I can click through to them. That's not hard to do because I have the URL sitting there, but... And it's just doing a for each. I'm going to do a for each order by daytime offset so that the newest clips are at the top. There we go. Right? So let's do an order by descending. Right? And I love that this is all stuff that we already know how to do. Seriously? I type C and you turn that into car? Like, you know this is a link statement. And that car is incorrect there. Like, come on, man. Let's turn this into an anchor. Not a span. Right, and we should have that target. Drop me into a new one. There we go. So if I click in, opens on a new tab. Bada bing. Cool. That was easy. Do I really need... I don't think I want that or that. Nah, maybe I do. That's fine. Cool. All right. AI will do our jobs any second? No. AI couldn't generate that block. Did you create another clip, Surly? Surly Dev shared a clip. This is a test clip. I typed C and you turned that into car. Cool. Right, and it updated automatically there. So we are on an ad break for just a few minutes. Let me commit these changes. Actually, I need to change branches, which means I'm going to need to stop the bot. That's fine. Yeah. Check out main. Find git stash. Yeah. Git pull. And let's delete feature Discord. Git stash pop. Thank you. Added entry to dashboard for clips created. Cool. One more thing done. And moving that along, there's lots more that I'm building there along the way, but I'm using Charlie as a vehicle to learn some of these new things. Can it display the clip title? Yeah. Yeah. I have it displaying that at the bottom, but the chat message that appears, I am not. Here, restart that. I'm not having it display the green screen text. I'm not going to have it display the title because it'll be too long. So it's going to discover the clips that are out there. Interesting, it didn't push the messages. That's fine. But yeah, the text, no, not yet. Like new clips, it should pick up and show those. But the list of clips, yeah, that works for me. Test? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Not going to do anything. I do have a test that I can run. From there. And I can do stuff like that. But see, it's not. I need to work on the formatting there. Some of the text doesn't align quite right, and so more to tinker with, more to fix. But I feel good about it. So, and it should have shared that clip that Surly Dev created over to our clips channel. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it posted them several times because I restarted. Yeah. Okay. We can have a dedupe. So. Yeah. I'm going to need to do a little deduping when it goes to send messages over to Discord. Not terrible. Yep. I'm just going to delete some of these test clips. And then I think we can call that a stream. Robson likes to make sure that that pin gets in there from Sao Paulo. Oh, I see. Gonna create another clip there. It just appeared once in Discord and put up the message. So, yeah, cool, right? It's a move in the right direction. It's nudging things along, and clipping is very much a YouTube feature. I'm sorry, a Twitch feature. I think there are clips on YouTube. I'm not sure how to mine those just yet, but we'll see about that. Yes, I am cutting a little bit short today because it's a Monday, and I've got some other things that I need to get to today. So I am going to wrap up today. I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow we're going to be focusing on SharpSight and going through and working on some of those. Scott who? I'm going to be, I need to go work with that guy, Scott. So, it's not really a question there from Napalm, but a mention, yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can get you connected to that might be doing something fun. And then I'm going to sign off, and I will see you tomorrow. Taking a look around the horn here, I think we're going to go join Anasass Dev. You're streaming as well? Are you? Are you? You are. But I don't see anything. And it looks like you're streaming in German. Nothing wrong with that. I already committed to rating Anna. So I'm going to send folks over there. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a bunch of recordings of my streams you can find just below or over here, depending on which client you're using. All right? Thanks so much for being here. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.